it's a video that I thought I needed to make because we get asked a lot how you remove the bus, and it's not something I can just put into a 60-second video. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you've had a great week and you're not too cold, because we've had snow today, or last night, and it's been pretty nippy all week, and it's a bit nippy. The bus is nice and warm though, so we're steadying at about a 23, 24, 25 degrees in the bus with a diesel heater, upstairs and downstairs, which is pretty good. Summer's enjoying the snow.
I nearly threw a snowball.
You threw a snowball at me? Oh, hope she doesn't get me. So a bit of an update, because our last video was obviously about the bus breaking down and the issues we were having to get it fixed. Now, when we got back from Yorkshire Wildlife Park, we parked up in Rotherham, a park where I know we wouldn't have any issues. And we started to get more issues than we had before. So we put the new slave cylinder on, which Gary very kindly from SYTT brought down to us, which had a hole. I found a shop in Thurnsker, a mini shop, that actually had them on the shelf. So I managed to get two more slave cylinders, one for myself and one to replace the one that Gary very kindly brought to us. Thought fantastic, brilliant, we'll get that on the bus and we'll be running tonight. Got back, part fitted perfectly, no holes in it. Couldn't get the throttle to open at all. The throttle was just doing nothing. You pushed the pedal, nothing was moving at the back. Oh, a northern train, I don't know if you can see it, is it there? Ooh. But yeah, so we had a massive problem. What I thought, either the cylinder at the front, the master cylinder, had gone and inverted itself where we bled the system that much, or we had air in the system. Now, spoke to lots of people, got some great advice, and basically it took me 4 days to get the system bled back up, and it was air in the system. And what we had to do was take the main hydraulic feed from the back of the pedal, hello Summer, to the back of the bus, take it off at the front cylinder, get Nicole to push the pedal down a couple of times to get all the air out, which was in the actual master cylinder, until we got fluid through from there. Although fluid was coming from the front to the back, it was just air pocketed in, there's an air pocket in the pedal, and that's all it was. So the bus is fixed, which is fantastic. The pedal feels like brand new, and the throttle bounces but so much quicker. So obviously it's been something that's been fatiguing over time, so we're in a really good position now where the bus is actually a little bit quicker, and hills are a little bit quicker. I won't say much quicker, I'm still crawling up hills, but it is slightly better. So yeah, we thought we were going to tell you what's happened over the last week. We didn't record any of it because I was that stressed, I just forgot to record. But yeah, I need to make a video for you guys, so I thought I'd give you the update on that and see where we're at. So we need to move the bus today, and I know the forecast is snow, but I never believe the forecast. So we're going to show you how we get the bus ready to move to our next park up. And a bit different today because it's in the snow, so a couple of extra things we're going to have to do to make sure we're good for that. So yeah, come with us while we get ready to move. So first job we've got to do is put some power onto the bus from the isolator, which is behind the back door. So we'll put the power on here, which will then give electricity to the bus, and get that closed up because the engine won't start if the back door is open. Now, with it being cold, the battery levels have started dropping on the vehicle battery the last couple of weeks. So I've got a voltage meter on the front of the bus, which we'll go and check to see if we've got enough voltage for the bus to start before damaging the batteries. So we've checked the voltage in the cab, and we start at about 27, just under 27 volts, which should just be enough to get it started. So next up, we go to the back of the bus, and we're going to check the oil. Make sure there's enough oil in the engine, which there should be. Get that checked. The coolant is full, and it's full of antifreeze, so we know that's not frozen up, because it's good for -20. It's definitely not -20. So the back engine, we're just going to check the engine oil now. So now we're going to check the oil. We're going to just clean the dipstick off to start with, to make sure we've got a clean stick. And then we're going to dip the stick to see what the oil reading is. Oh. Which is 3/4 up, before the max, which is bang on. Happy with that. And while I'm in the engine as well, I just check that there's nothing that shouldn't be there, and it's everything as it should be. And as you look over, it does look pretty good. If someone just comes over with the camera, thank you so much. This is the new cylinder now all in place. That's working lovely, but engine's looking okay. No issues at all. With it being cold though, I am going to put the cold start on. It's a Gardner 6 LXB and it has a valve opener here, which is like a cold start. Just push that up, opens the valve slightly more for a cold engine start because it is pretty nippy. So now we know that everything's good at the back with the oil, coolant, and there's nothing in the engine that shouldn't be. We've closed that all up, so close the sensors, and we have to start the bus from the cab. So we pull out down here, it's going to be tricky to show you on this, on the control panel down here. So we turn out the power. That buzzer is for low air because there's no air in the system. Then we just push the black button to give it a start. So push it down here, and she fires straight up. Give me a smile, Pops. So, as the air's been, obviously the buzzer is off because I've turned the button off, but we're just keeping an eye on these 3 gauges here to make sure the air does build up. But while we're doing that, we're going to do our external checks. So for that, we have to put the buzzer back on, but we're not going to be in here, so it doesn't zoom out too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, which are all lights. Turn on our hazards, and then we're going to go and do the check. So the first check we'll do while we're in here. Can you do the horn for me, Poppy? Can you remember where the horn is? No. So keep your hand on that wheel. There's that red button over there. Push that in. Oh yeah, that's definitely working. So the horn's all good. Check the window wiper blades from the inside. We'll do them outside as well, but they're all good. But we can't test them yet because we've got to wait for air for them to be working. So we shall go outside and start as checks. So it's like any big vehicle, you have to do a vehicle check before you move, and we do exactly the same procedure that I was taught when I used to drive it first. Simple reason being, I know I'm compliant then, and checking everything I need to check before I move to make sure we're safe and we're not harming any other road users. So normally you would check for a ramp, but on this bus there isn't a ramp because it's that old. So I just check to make sure the light's on the step, just because I like the light being on, and the doors open freely and there's nothing blocking them, which they do. Check the rear mirror, make sure it's not going to fall off, which it's not. Then we go to the front of the bus. Now I'm doing this in reverse, which is not great, so I'll turn you round. Whee! Oh no, that didn't work very well. So looking at the front of the bus from top to bottom, so the windows are all clear, there's nothing spots in them and there's nothing broken there. Coming down, everything's secure, and that's not going to fall off. Give this a quick wobble. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. So from here, checking the window screen, no issues at all, and make sure our window wipers are on and not going anywhere, which they are on and not going anywhere. So that's all good. Then we're going further down the vehicle, we're checking indicators both sides, 1 and 2, 2 side lights, top lights and fog lights. They're all on, absolutely fine. Phoebe, can you put full beam on for me on that red lever? Up and down. So Phoebe's going to do the full beam for us. Up and down. Yeah, another way. Yep, they're both working fine. So that's the front of the vehicle done. So as we go down to the side, starting from the top, working its way down, windows are insecure, wind mirror is safe and secure, windows are all in, they're not going to fall out, nice and secure. All my 2 ports down here are also closed, side indicators working, this locker's closed, locked shut, windows up above, all good. Then we get to the tyres, so we're checking tyres. All the nuts are there, all the nuts are all nice and tight. Checking the inside of the tyre, making sure everything as it should be there, probably a bit dark for you to see, but all clear in there. Move further up, this cap, it's closed, oh that one's open, there you go. So that's one thing we have to check for, it's our diesel tank. That one's obviously not locked, so I'll just close that one up, I need to get the key for that. There you go, that's locked in for the minute, get the key. Toilet, make sure that's all locked up, they're all good. Windows in there, nice and safe. Oh, I don't think someone could stop then, just sliding about. Right, so going up from the top again, looking fine. Check this cabinet, yeah, all locked. Then we've got this next tyre, so all the nuts, all in place. Probably a bit noisy with that engine. Tyres look good, left to right. Looking up again, fine. Door locked, secure. So we're going round to the back. start from the top. Windows still secure, nothing obstructing, all closed. So we're going to do lights. So we've got 2 indicators, which are fine, 2 side lights which are on. Girls, can you go and ask him to push the brake for me, please? So we'll just ask Phoebe to push the brake to make sure that's doing fine. While we're checking that, we check underneath to make sure both tyres are inflated. As you can see, the gaps in between them, and the inside tyre is inflated. And there's the brake lights. Phoebe's just pushing for us on both sides. So again, we do the same on the other side. We make sure everything's locked and secure from the top. This light's all cool, secure. This one's locked and secure. Again, tyres. That's fine, Phoebes! So tyres, make sure the nuts are present and done up. Visually they're fine. Check the inside tyres. Check the tyre depth. It all looks good. Windows and doors are all secure on this side. Double doors, they're closed, no issues with that. And that's all fine here. And our last indicator and tyre, just to finish off the checks, which all look absolutely bang on. So they're the outside sort of visual checks that we have to do before we move to make sure everything's fine. We don't want any loose nuts, wheel nuts coming off, wheels falling off, making sure there's nothing like oil dripping from the engine coolant, which it's not. We've done the check on that. Inside tyres inflated, which you can only see from the rear properly. So externally wise now, we're good to go. We know our lights are on, we've got no lights out. We've had a few lights the last couple of months that I've done a check on a Tuesday, and by Thursday they've blown. So I had to change them. So it is worth doing that check every time you move. Some people say it's excessive, but it's my licence and it's got to be right. So we do the checks, and then I know in my head that I've done them and it's right. So as we get back into the bus, we just check the air pressures to make sure they've built up fine. The alarm has gone off now, which is great, and they're all 3 tanks of Site 80. So you've got your 2 air brake chambers and your auxiliaries, which are absolutely great. That's bang on, and they're all built up, so that makes it safe to work. When we move off, we will do a little brake test just to make sure they're working and make sure everything's all right, which is great. So internally, normally if you're doing a proper bus check, you would basically check all the seats, but there's no seats to check in this bus. So things that we have to do, we have to close the skylights upstairs, because our vehicle height, which is 14'10", is with the skylights closed. Our solar panels don't intrude that, so that's our top height. So we make sure they're all closed. So at the minute they're all closed because it's winter and the course not had them open, so they're all closed. We have to secure this screen here, which we get asked. This is the screen that blocks off the cab while we're not moving. That just pings back like so, and that hooks up into the wall with a chain, and that keeps that out of the way for while we're moving. Apart from that, we move a couple of bottles and glasses that are basically on the inside of the bus, and make sure everything in the kitchen is put away. So the air fryer gets moved onto the floor, and we make sure that all the cutlery and plates and stuff are put into the cupboards to make sure that they're out of the way and not going to slide over. But there's very little to actually move in the bus before we move inside. When we built the bus, we very much did it so when we move, when we break things, push into stuff, it doesn't have anywhere to go. So like the gin and wine station, as we call it, the glasses, we don't have to move them off there, because when we break it pushes into the wood, and there's not enough acceleration on the bus to actually knock them off with the little lip that's on the shelf. Spice racks are great from IKEA. Kids are loving the snow. They're great for basically putting books in to stop them moving and everything like that. So it's just the way we built the bus to make sure things didn't move when we drive, which is great. It just saves us having to put things away as we move, because I know there's a lot of bus lifers, fan lifers that have had issues in the past where they've built things, they go around the corner and the fridge flies open. So we have none of them issues. We get the odd bit and bob where I go around the roundabout a bit too quick and the book flies off and smacks one of the kids in the face as they've been sat there. But apart from that, they're the only sort of really big issues that we do get. So that is how we move our bus home. It takes about 5-10 minutes. We let the bus run for a bit longer just to warm the engine up, get everything circulated, all the oils, before we set off. Just to make sure everything's nice and warm and ready to go. But it's a video that I thought I needed to make because we get asked a lot how we move the bus, and it's not something I can just put into a 60-second video. So it's not a particularly long video for YouTube today, but it gives you sort of an insight of what we need to do to be able to move the bus. So yeah, we're going to go for some breakfast now. Once we move the bus and go for a walk down the canal in the snow, because that's what we always do when it snows. We go for a walk down the canal. So thank you very much for tuning into this probably pretty short video, but I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.
Thank you for watching the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next one.